Magandang araw mga kaproyekto. Welcome to Proyekto Pilipino. For this episode, we're doing a follow-up of our episode last week, wherein the DSWD was sharing with us the food stamps program para lang maibsan ang gutom, ma-address yung problema ng gutom. Kaduktong ng problema ng gutom ang problema ng malnutrition. At saka isang ay yung napag-usapan na natin dati kay Dr. Habito, Shell Habito, yung stunting. So ngayong linggo, maganda na meron tayong kapanayam at kausap kakwentuhan sa Proyekto Pilipino si Attorney Benedicta Tu Baladad ng Management Association of the Philippines. Siya ang presidente ng Management Association Philippines ngayon at sila yung merong isang malaking koalisyon ng mga iba't ibang grupo na nagtatrabaho sa issue ng hunger, malnutrition at stunting. Siguro, welcome Attorney Dick, and thank you for joining us this morning. Of course, you know Lelo, you've met Leloy, Manolo, and Carlo. So,
hey, good morning, Father. Good morning.
So, ma'am, siguro we'd like to talk about, di ba, yung role ng private sector, since MAP is entering an agreement with the DSWD and also DOH, and will be nominated to the important body of the government for addressing malnutrition. Maybe you can share the work of MAP, the coalition that we have in MAP, and then moving forward, the involvement that you have in the different government programs.
Okay. Wow, mahaba yun, Father. So let me just start with...
Maybe you can introduce Management Association of the Philippines.
Paano nag-umpisa ang Management Association of the Philippines? And in fact, there are many questioning how come a management association is into this social development concern. And sinasabi namin, bakit naman hindi? And if you look at malnutrition and child stunting, right away, we spotted that there would be a problem of directly our labor force sa business. Pag stunted ang ating mga workforce, anong mangyayari sa negosyo? Walang asenso. Why walang asenso? Because our laborers cannot cope up beyond what the needs of the times are, especially now na nag-e-enter na tayo, we are entering the AI revolution and also the robotics. So if we have a labor force na hindi naman niya kayang umangat sa kakayahan ng isang artificial intelligence o kaya robot, they will just be there unemployed and they will be a burden to the society. At the same time, there is no growth in business. We become uncompetitive and there will be no, on a bigger scale, there will be no national development that we're talking about. So economic development will be at stake pag wala tayo. So right away, we have spotted that. At sabi nga namin, Father, ano kayang gagawin natin? So we look at it. And clearly, they're saying that our stunting, especially stunting, which is siguro in-explain ni Dr. Habito, a stage where the brain develops. Pagka hindi natin yan na-address, sabi namin, even us in the business sector will suffer. So we look at it and we said, maybe kailangan ilagay na natin yung management expertise, yung management experts to look at the problem because nalaman namin that ang dami-dami na palang initiatives or ginagawa ang private sector, ang dami-dami rin ginagawa ng government, and yet kung tingnan mo ang latest na datos natin, ang sinasabi is stagnating, meaning hindi nag-i-improve ang level ng child stunting natin. So we said this is something that we should champion. So now what we did is, like management experts, tiningnan namin yung kabuuan and we said these are the three things that we need. One is we have to educate. We have to educate all the government, the private sector, ang mga tao natin because we thought that lahat ng society should be acting on this. Second, we have a team na inorganize namin which is what we call Encourage. Ito yung team naman that is looking at how we can reform our policies. Ano bang kailangan nating mga batas? Anong kailangan nating mga regulasyon? Anong kailangan nating baguhin sa ating ginagawa ngayon o sa sarili natin para lang ma-solve itong problema na to. And yung last one, which is pinakamalaki, yung sabi namin team engage, which is already those that are on the ground. These are already partnerships. Ito na yung mga NGOs, ito na yung mga foundations that are already there on the ground that are trying to help solve this problem. So that is how we structured ourselves. So ang una naming ginawa, sabi namin, itong gobyerno natin, ang laki ng dapat gawin dito. So we asked on the government to declare or adopt or get malnutrition and child stunting as a top priority agenda of the government to be solved. And I think because of that, ang daming nag-react or what do you call this? Nag-reach out already from the government to coordinate with MAP. And then we also had a call sa private sector. Magtulong-tulong tayo, let's group together para makita natin kung ano ang maitutulong ng isa, and then MAP acted as a convener. Ang ibig sabihin ng convener is one that calls all together, one that manages them, one that connects, one that links, at saka yung gagawa ng holistic na programa para iisa ang direction ng private sector. So, yung call namin na yon, nagkaroon kami ng 70 na partners. Yung partners na to are composed of corporations, corporate foundations, mga NGOs that are already there, na classify naman namin kung saan sila, anong mga ginagawa nila. So meron tayong mga funders, meron naman tayong yung grupo ng direct services, yung talagang nandun sila kung kailangan niya ng health or the vitamins or whatever, or water, clean water. So nandyan sila, nandun naman yung mga nagsosuporta. Yung mga nagsosuporta, kasama na dyan yung MAP, classified ang MAP na nagsosuporta, being the convener, being one managing all this, being one connecting the partners where the need is. And meron kaming kasamang Analytics Association of the Philippines na ina-analyze naman yung datos, tinitingnan yung saan yung talagang pinakamalaking hunger, how is it improving, yung mga ganon. So that is the structure of the MAP now. And we have met with the Department of Health, we have met with the Department of Social Welfare and Development. We are working with them. Today, ngayong araw ang launching ng Philippine Plan of Action, no, PPAN, on nutrition. And then after that, I hope makukuha tayo, Father, doon sa National Nutrition Council kasi nag-apply na tayo doon.
Okay.
So that in brief. Actually, in brief pero mahaba.
Medyo hindi brief, attorney.
Medyo hindi brief.
But very, very comprehensive. The approach is very comprehensive, ano? So siguro baka Manolo, Carlo and Lelo, you might have some initial questions kay Attorney D.
Gusto ko lang malaman yung anong pagkakaiba ng management approach sa pagsolusyon ng isang problema. Dahil medyo manhid na ang publiko dahil sa laki ng problema na palagi nating hinaharap, sa dami ng mga bagong pakulo kung paano, di ba, haharapin ang mga problemang ito. What did you do na masasabi natin na iba at mas epektibo sa pagtalakay ng problemang ito?
Kasi noon, they work in silos, kanya-kanya. Ang daming NGOs pero kanya-kanya. Tapos kung saan yung madali nilang puntahan, doon lang nila pupuntahan, picture, ganon. But, you know, so hindi mo makikita, may duplicated na, merong hindi naman kailangan ng tulong, pero nandun din sila nagko-concentrate because it's the easier to do or wala talagang koordinasyon. So ngayon, ang ginagawa namin is, halika kayong lahat. Tingnan natin ano bang ginagawa nyo. Gawan natin ng struktura. Gawin natin para mag-coordinate tayo. Anong kailangan sa isang, kunwari, barangay, ang kailangan dyan ay ito, ito, ito. Isa lang pupunta dyan or dalawa lang or ano, kung ano lang yung needs nun. Para hindi masayang ang resources kasi hindi naman infinite ang resources natin. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to put all of the players to move in one direction, which is to solve the problem. So yon ang pagkakaiba ng may management na pupunta in the process.
Can you walk me through one endeavor, for example, and how that responds to a specific need or an area that the government is unable to respond to?
Okay. Let me just put it in proper context, no? Kasi we want to work kahit anong gawin natin. Napaka-importanteng partner natin ang gobyerno. So we want to work with the government. We want to work alongside them, no? So itong tinatanong mo anong example, meron kaming dinidevelop na we call it MAP model, no? In this MAP model, titingnan yung mga i-evaluate yung mga barangay, kunwari, or locality. You have to evaluate the locality. Ngayon, meron na tayong 235 na evaluate ng World Bank, di ba? Ito yung mga recipients ng 10 billion loan na ibinigay ng World Bank. So sabi namin, pwede tayong mag-umpisa dito sa 235 na ito, or kung merong pwede ring outside 235. It's not exclusive. Pero ang MAP model na yan, hindi yung basta pasok lang ng pasok, pasok ng pasok. Evaluate mo, titingnan mo, ready ba sila to receive assistance? So meron silang kakulangan. So kung kakulangan nila ay wala silang health clinic, o kaya ang kakulangan nila ay walang available na makuhang nutritious food in their town. So meron tayong mga nasa agri. Ipapasok mo ngayon yung mga agri, ipapasok mo yung clean water or pero kailangan ready sila for the assistance. Kasi kung hindi sila ready, yung environment, sayang lang yan, masasayang lang yung ilalagay mo dyan. So kung ano yung kulang, we come in, get our partners, sino ba ang clean water dyan? Punta ka dito, sino bang punta ka dito. Once you solve it, you close one barangay, it's done. But we also expect the government to do their part, no? Para mag-meet yung private sector at saka yung government to solve a case. So that is what we want. Working in close coordination with the government, what they cannot do, we will try to put and do it until you close the problem in a locality at localities per localities tayo. That's why we will also work closely with DILG.
Ma'am, yung nabanggit nyong 200 plus, ang batean ba natin dito, these are 200 plus barangays or municipalities? Ano pa ba ito?
Parang municipalities yun na na-identify ng World Bank. Ibig sabihin may pinagbasehan na sila kung bakit sila yung kukunin. At I think ito yung number 1, pinakamalataas ng stunting. Meron kasi like Bangsamoro, 40% na ang stunted dyan. So sinasabi natin, isa sa 3 bata stunted. Pero sa Bangsamoro, mukhang mas marami pa sa isa sa 3 bata ang stunted. So, yun ang mga pinagbasehan nila. Kaya maganda na rin doon mag-umpisa kasi may datos na tayong pagtitingnan.
Ma'am, at kung tatantyahan lang natin, yung mga municipality na ito, of the universe ng nangangailangan, anong porsyento ito? Because hindi naman natin matutulungan lahat agad-agad. Kaunti pa rin.
Konti, the last one I heard, I think we have around 1,000 300 ba municipalities or siguro si Father alam niya 1,200.
It's close to one. I think it's close to 1,300. Yeah,
Yeah,
municipalities.
Okay.
1,300 municipalities. So konti lang. Kaya marami pa yung mga outside the 235 na dapat nga mapagtuunan din
Yeah.
ng
And then,
pansin.
ma'am,
Barely 20% pa lang yung mako-cover. And I think this
okay,
is
so
based nga on the criteria, parang ito yung pinaka in need, ano.
so
I
at
think
least meron ng
number one, Manolo, is ano, I think they're all last municipalities kung hindi ako nagkakamali, no.
okay, because yung follow-up question ko rin, ma'am, is dati palagi kong inuulit yung nakausap kong isang principal na ang problema nila pag may bumababang pondo for school feeding program, for example, para sa limitadong panahon lamang ito. So, in other words, yung papakainin mo yung bata, but then for maybe 3 months, 4 months, after that, wala na. So, ano bang ginagawa ninyo para
Actually,
ma-address
Manolo,
yung long-standing?
Actually, Manolo, yung feeding in school is too late. Hindi
Mm.
na natin ina-address yung stunting, but we are addressing hunger na yon. Kasi unang-una stunted na nga tapos gutom pa, lalong walang mapupunta sa ano. At the end of the day, you know, it's all about budget, ang resources, budget ang pinag-uusapan natin. Kaya nga kailangan talaga natin din from the private sector na tumulong kasi ang tingin natin hindi talaga kaya ng gobyerno with their own limited budget eh.
Yeah. And I think, attorney, di ba, isa sa mga strengths, I think, ng MAP is yung iba-iba nilang members dun sa coalition, meron silang livelihood, meron silang education, di ba, in terms of ano ba yung mga masustansya at saka bakit kailangan yung nabanggit to ni Asek, di ba, last week, di ba, bakit kailangan 50% carbohydrates, etc. So I think because of the coalition of MAP, parang yung holistic approach in addressing the issue is there, aside from whole nation approach, no, but yung holistic strategy even post post feeding period, post 1,000 days for example, kasi andun yung education ng mga parents, andun yung livelihood, andun yung backyard gardening, andun yung pagtuturo ng gumawa ng menu ng affordable. Pero yun na nga, yun lagi ina-emphasize si Atty. Dick sa mga meeting. Pwede bang mag-mapping and coordinate, ano? Kasi nga, maraming, Atty., correct me if I'm wrong, maraming gumagalaw, pero kailangan itong ating issue, kailangan hindi lang galaw ng galaw, kundi dapat intelligent and very discerned ang paggalaw, ano? I think that's one of the major roles that MAP can play. No? If looking at the coalition, talagang very impressive yung mga programs by themselves, di po ba, Attorney? Very impressive.
Kasi sayang naman, galaw ng galaw, spend ka ng spend ng resources, pero mauubos yan, pero wala naman palang mapupuntahan. Oo. And in addition to the sinabi ni Father, ano bang strength namin? Kahit papaano yung members have their own resources, no? May not be in money but in some other, katulad niyan, meron kaming mga members gumawa ng research, pulse survey, kung ano ba, bakit to understand bakit tayo stunted, bakit hindi nakakakain yung mga tao ng tamang nutrisyon. Ang sinasabi, mahal ang food. So dahil mahal ang food, then we have to address anong gagawin natin kung mahal ang food. So meron naman tayong mga grupo na sinabi ko kanina, nagsulong na sila we already wrote to the government and to the Trade Commission na babaan naman yung tariff ng mga ini-import na food. That's one. Second is, paano natin palaguin naman itong ating mga agrikultura ng sarili natin domestically. Tapos meron din tayong mga kasama doon na nagtuturo sila how to grow your own vegetables in your own backyard. Meron ding isa nagtuturo, community farming naman. Merong isang bakanteng lupa, lahat kayo mag-farm doon, you can share your harvest, any excess you sell. Parang gano'n na ang ginagawa. So,
Ma'am,
maganda.
gusto ko tanungin sa inyo, nakatulong ba sa inyo or put another way, nung nagkaroon tayo ng pandemya, alam ko ang parang unang gumalaw dahil mas mabagal gumalaw ang pamahalaan ay ang pribadong sektor. And in many cases, mga kompanya or mga even village associations nag-adapt ng mga barangay na tutulungan nila nung panahon ng pandemya. Did this give you any lessons and examples na na-apply nyo sa mga proyekto nyo ngayon? And if so, what were those?
Okay, ang MAP hindi pa kasama dyan noon. Ngayong taon lang kami sumali. Pero yung mga miyembro noon namin came from that, no? And I think what they really want nga, yun ang kakulangan nga. Kasi noon, although noon maganda kasi parang spontaneous eh. Spontaneous ng private sector, sige, kung anong maitulong, ganun-ganon. But still, they said they could have done it better if there was proper coordination and management.
Second, ma'am, connected to that, dahil natural sa mga sistema ng pribadong sektor yung tinatawag nating post-mortem na yun nga, pagkatapos malutas ang isang problema o lumampas sa isang krisis, nagkakaroon ng pagbalik-tanaw upang tingnan ano yung matututunan para ma-improve in the future.
Oo.
Sa gobyerno, medyo walang ganong kultura. Have you found, however, na responsive ang mga government agencies sa pagpasok ng mga ganitong mga pananaw? And how did you convince or encourage them to follow your practices?
No, meron naman sila. You know, it's just na ang hirap sa gobyerno dahil ang daming, ano ba dito, sa proseso, mahirap gumalaw. Sa sobrang laki nila,
yung bureaucratic
yeah, mahirap. Pero meron naman silang pagbalik tanaw. I mean, that's important because they are the policy makers after all. Hindi sila basta ganun ng ganun, unimplementable naman. So after, they should have a review. Dito naman ngayon sa MAP, ang sinasabi nga naming review is continuous. Hindi kailangang tapusin namin bago namin reviewin. So habang ginagawa, meron kaming nakikitang dapat improve, adjust ka na naman, adjust ka na naman. So it's an evolving process. You don't need to wait na matapos ang isang problema.
And siguro if I could add to that, Manolo, maybe not so much yung post-mortem, but doon sa isang meeting na magkasama kami ni attorney, for example, isang DSWD, let's mention it already, they needed a study, no, to move forward with their program. Kaya lang, because of the bidding process of the government, di ba, yung ganon. So, yun yung isang, di ba, Attorney Dick, isang pwedeng mahalagang role ng private sector. And
Nakatulong tayo doon, Father.
Oo, di ba, ma'am? Secretary Gatchalian was very straightforward. Attorney, pwede nyo ba kaming tulungan na mapabilis itong study na ito? Kasi kailangan namin para masimulan ng programa. Kasi, attorney ba, kung susundan yung government process, isang buwan ata
Wala, hindi sila makagalaw, Father. So what we did is we look for one of our partners to fund the survey. Kasi kailangan talaga yung survey dahil nag-launch na sila ng food stamp at gusto nila ng baseline. So we undertook that activity.
So yun, mga ganun, Manolo, di ba? Those are some of the contributions of the... Tsaka yung iba rin, maybe not necessarily funding, but the expertise that the government needs.
Yeah.
Pwede rin ma-extend,
Example lang dyan sa expertise, Father. Meron tayong mga miyembro na mga PR agencies, no? So sila ngayon, after na nag-pulse survey sila, tinitingnan na gagawa ng mga educational materials at sinasabi rin nila na based on yung mga nanay daw kasi marami sa time nila watching TikToks, no? So they are now trying to do TikToks that we can circulate.
Ano pa po yung natutunan nyo sa mga nanay apart from yung wala pong pera magpakain? Hindi lang din po sila informed, I guess, about yung problema ng stunting po, no?
Well, ang number one na lumabas really there is they can't afford. Okay? Mataas ang mga ano, wala nga silang makain. Paano pa sila mapipili yung nutritious?
Mm.
So that's the one they can't afford. And I think kasi marami tayong teenage. I think we're the number 1 in ASEAN for the highest rate of teenage pregnancy. Pag mga bata pa yan, talagang hindi nila alam kung paano alagaan yung sarili nila at yung baby. So
Mm.
yan, education to them too.
Carlo, go ahead.
It's very interesting sa akin kasi I come from government and I'm in the private sector as well. So it seems that we had this mindset that pagka privado, pagka gobyerno, gobyerno. But in here we see a bridge of sorts na the private sector and the government need to work hand in hand. But at the same time, there are certain things that the government can do as well that mirrors private practices. And something that stood out kanina sinabi ni attorney yung mga proseso and how important this is in addressing problems or even projects kasi correct me if I'm wrong, attorney, even government agencies can apply for certifications, like ISO certifications.
Yeah.
So the government does go through these processes as well. And what can they and if they go through these processes like ISO certifications, what can the government benefit from that?
There are many government agencies I heard that are now ISO certified, and I think they're aiming really to be ISO certified. That means they are improving on their process, but there are many bottlenecks. For example, the COA rules. The COA rules na kinatatakutan ng lahat. My thinking kasi is ang COA should not stifle kasi takot na lahat ang mga tao din na gumalaw because for every galaw kailangan, naku, ganito, ganon, baka balikan tayo. And you know, the bureaucrats, that's their life Yung pag wala na sila sa bureaucracy, wala na rin silang buhay kasi that's the only life they know. So takot na takot sila na baka makasuhan pag ganito, ganon. And I think it's high time that really we should also look at the COA rules na ang tingin namin archaic din also, no? So yun, isa yan na kaya medyo mabagal ang proseso. And second is, they're really too big at saka, what is that? For how many years, long years, yun at yun ang sinusunod. So if there are reformers sana, you know, you put in new blood to reform the government and look at it na hindi naman sila makakasuhan pagka sila ay gumalaw, and that there is an alignment of COA rules and all the rules that are putting a government in a very tight position to be flexible. Maganda sana. Dapat talaga mapag-aralan ng buo ang proseso ng bureaucracy. Because if it's just on a per agency, it's mahirap. Mahirap.
So even if some agencies would get ISO certification, pag yung policy ho hindi uniform, sa experience nyo, hindi rin nakakatulong ng ganun kalaki.
Hindi nakakatulong ng ganun kalaki because they are bound by rules outside their departments.
Ma'am, as an aside, pwede ba niyo paliwanag lang ano itong ISO certification? Because ang tagal na pinagmamalaki ng mga ahensya na may ISO, and then wala namang makapaliwanag kung ano ba yun at ano yung benefit na naidudulot nun.
Isang standard, it's a standard of process and procedures na you have to comply with, not to improve yung not only process but the way you do things, the way you service your clients, the way you handle documents. Marami siyang Pat ibig sabihin niyan, pagka ikaw ay pumasa doon, nakapasa ka doon sa standard na yun. In short,
international po ito.
International. So in short, there is expectation na kahit paano na nag-keep up ka sa standard na yan. Yeah.
I think it's important to say that in solving issues. Resources is just one of the tools that's needed. The process is such an important part of it as well. Ito lang, sabihin ko lang, just to give an idea yung viewers natin, on sometimes how dysfunctional the process is. Naalala ko nung nasa gobyerno ako, pagka may lalabas na balita na magbibigay ng rice allowance, yung hindi nga pera, yung kaban mismo yung mga bigas mismo, pipila ang tao for hours sa basement ng isang agency. Tapos nandun ako nakapila, isang oras na ako nakapila, Father Tio, sabi ko sa katabi ko, parang lahat tayo nandito. Sinong nasa mga mesa natin? So, isipin mo, for 2 hours nakapila kami, naghihintay sa bigas namin. So, this is what I mean by something as simple as that. A process of giving our rice. But in the meantime, 2 oras kami nakapila, walang nagtatrabaho. So,
Yeah.
anyway, just...
I'll give you then another example. When I was working with 2010 to 12, Philippine High School for the Arts, no? So there was a car assigned to me, an official car, no? So yun, i-report mo lahat ng biyahe, walang problema ron, no? For example lang, I was told by our admin na halimbawa, makiling yung office ko. Halimbawa, meron akong example, may meeting ako sa Cubao. So yun lang i-report ko, official meeting. Kung meron akong personal na lakad, halimbawa sa Makati, kailangan ibalik ko pa yung kotse at gumamit ako ng sarili kong sasakyan. So, it's, and of course, sana wag sa akin magalit ang COA attorney, no? But despite these rules, and sometimes sabi nga ni Attorney Dick, archaic rules, or ng gobyerno, ang daming nakakalusot pa rin na corruption or, di ba? Di ba sabi nga iba, di ba? Hindi naman talaga yung technical conversation, nagkamali lang ng proseso, etc., etc. Ang dami pa rin nakakalusot, So I think tama yung attorney, we should rethink this whole thing and make it, siguro rationalize it, So,
well, babanggit ko lang, Fads, na kailangan nito dahil sa dami ng red tape, syempre, panahon equals oras, di ba? Equals pera. So, ang nangyayari kung inefficient at puno ng kurakot ang mga ginagawa, kinukulang yung pondo na pwedeng ilaang para sa magagandang programa. So there's a direct effect. Ma'am, gusto ko lang tanungin sa inyo. Okay, ngayon meron kayong commitment na tulungan ng mahalaan, tulungan ng pamahalaan for the next 6 years.
Namin is 5. Yung ginagawa naming programa dapat minimize stunting in 5 years. So ang model na ginagawa nila is Peru, wherein in Peru after 5 years napababa nila yung rate of stunting nila. Pero sabi nga namin, bakit hindi natin gawin na after some time Philippines naman ang gagawing model on how to reduce the stunting. Ang number 1 lang talaga nating problema, Father, ang dami poverty is there. We really have to address poverty. That's the root cause. That's the, sabi ko, yan ang talagang kriminal pagdating sa stunting. It is poverty. And when we talk of poverty, ang dami-dami nang pumapasok dyan. That's why we want to just focus on stunting, malimit siya in stunting, and of course, poverty would be one. And we try to dig down paano, what are those that we can do to prevent stunting na. Dahil we are talking here of a next generation of Filipinos, no?
Ano po yung gawa sa Peru? Ano po yung natutunan natin sa Peru and paano natin matatranslate yun dito?
Okay. I hope na explain din ito ni Dr. Shell Habito that in Peru, very high din ang stunting nila. But they were able, I think they were able to reduce it. On how to reduce it, I am not too quite sure how they do it because our advisor there is Dr. Shell Habito. And we are trying to work with him on how that can happen. No? But I think it's a lot of education. Sa kanila is a lot of education ang ginamit nila. Oo.
In fact, when we met with Secretary Gatchalian, di ba, attorney, that was one of the things that he requested MAP, no, to focus on education.
Yeah.
Kasi dun daw yung kulang eh. So far, no, from the perspective of the DSWD. Kasi the other major partner is the Department of Health, no? Na yun din, malaki yung role ng Department of Health. And then, siguro, this is one of the things then that an attorney, they can give more details because they met with them more after that initial meeting. For example, yung partnership with DSWD is for education. And I think, ma'am, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, this is in line with the food stamps. Walang gutom, ano? Walang gutom. And then the partnership naman with the DOH is in line with the World Bank. Tama po, ma'am, ano? In line with the World Bank project, ano?
Okay.
So,
Okay. For DSWD, dalawa yung programa nila. Kasama din sila sa World Bank project na PM.
yeah.
I understand of the 10 billion, 3 billion ang napunta sa DSWD. Then meron silang specific program na itong food stamp nga. At ang sinasabi nga niya doon, tulungan niyo kami in the education. And there is this Kontragutom, Pilipinas Kontragutom, who are already doing yung tinatawag nilang edukasyon na meron pang may journal, meron pang mga menu kung ano yung nutritious food, etc., etc., that are working with them on the ground. Ang tulong naman ng MAP on the education is yun nga yung sinabi ko kanina na maglalabas tayo ng more general targeted education materials. For example nga yung pag-TikTok na educational materials and some others. Our PR guys are actually working on this na, on how they can. So that's the help that we can do. Plus, we also help them in the World Bank project, which is the PMNP project. No? And then in Department of Health, we will also be helping them on the World Bank project.
Kasi yung 70% ng budget ng World Bank nasa DOH naman.
Nasa DOH naman.
Ma'am, ibo-volunteer ko ito mga kasama ko mag-TikTok kung kailangan nyo ng TikTokers.
Sige. Pakuha natin yung konsepto nila kung anong ano. There are a group of, group sila eh. It's a group na nagtutulungan kung anong gagawin.
Ma'am, before lang mag-ano si Leloy, kasi nabanggit niyo si Dr. Habito, isa sa mga tumatak sa isipan ko nung guest namin siya, yung he was emphasizing na sa Peru, ito sa whole nation approach. Whole nation approach. So tumatak sa isip ko yun eh. Anyway, Leloy, go ahead please. Sorry.
Yun din nga po, whole nation approach, and of course to get to whole nation approach, kailangan nga po yung information. Sa tingin ko po, dumarami na po yung mga taong alam na napakalaking problema ng stunting sa Pilipinas, na 1/3, and in fact sabi niyo po more pa po sa mga kapatid natin sa BARM. Pero sa tingin niyo, ano po yung mga indicator na lumalaki na yung mga numero ng Pilipino na alam tong problemang ito, at paano pa natin palalakihin yung numero ng mga Pilipino na concerned about ito sa issue na to, dahil talagang kalusugan talaga ng bansa natin yung nakasalalay dito sa issue na ito eh.
Alam mo, nakakatuwa. Nung una, kaming naglalabas ng press release, no? Kami talagang nagpapa-press con kami, nagpapaano. After some time, kahit wala nang ganun, sulat itong mga kapatid natin sa media, wala, talagang sulat sila ng sulat. In fact, nasa mga opinion page, even if we don't give out the ano. And then, biglang, even the government reacting, biglang, yung sa Congress, meron sila dyan yung about poverty alleviation, etc. They are asking na, ang dami nang sumulusulat sa amin sa mga congressman who are in charge of committees to alleviate poverty and nutrition, etc., calling us now for a summit. No, they want to do a summit. They want to see what are the reforms that we have to put in place. In addition to that, ang dami na ring mga NGOs that are calling. Gusto namin. So in short, ang tingin ko dyan, na yung mga movers na sinasabi natin, leaders and movers, nabulabog na. So in their own localities, I would suppose they are also doing that. And even the government, main government agency, and even the president saying in his SONA, it's already about the stunting that was mentioned there. So in short, there is now a parang nagising, but it's not enough na nagising mo. Ang next is action, action, action. What do we do? What do we do after this? So I think that's the next important thing, Father,
Talagang on-ground activation
Yeah.
and implementation. And Leloy, siguro dagdag ko lang sa sinabi ni attorney. I think it was because of the lobbying of partly because of the lobbying of MAP. Yun na nga nalagay sa SONA yung stunting issue. Tsaka may special instructions ang presidente sa DSWD and DOH to isama, di ba, the attorney, isama ang itong stunting issue sa programa. Hindi lamang malnutrition. Meron siyang special orders na talagang mag-focus din sa stunting. No? So siguro yun, Leloy, merong greater awareness. Pero yun na nga, I think Attorney Dick will agree with me na
Kailangan
ito,
pagalawin.
activation na ngayon, di ba? Activation
Yeah.
on ground. That's
So,
why...
sino pa po, Father, ma'am, yung pwede pa nating i-activate at this point? So, na-activate na yung maraming ahensya ng gobyerno, na-activate na yung certain members of the business community.
Alam mo,
Sino po yung next dapat
activation? Talagang DILG, local barangays,
Yes.
yung talagang grassroots, no? Doon na tayo dapat pupunta.
Hintayin lang natin yung election matapos.
Oo, at saka ang hinihintay, kaya nga sabi namin sa 70 partners namin, please be patient with us because ayaw naming sige galaw tayo ng galaw, maubusan tayo ng pera pero wala tayong pupuntahan because we are also waiting, as you said nga Carlo, we are also waiting for the government. Gusto natin kasi side by side na gumalaw para mas ma-feel yung impact.
Siguro ano lang, sorry ma'am, go ahead po. Go ahead.
Ngayon pa lang ang launching nila, kunwari ng PIPAN. And then, so siguro by September. And then, even Secretary Rex said, September mag-ano na tayo. Because they are also waiting for some data.
Siguro dagdag ko din, Leloy, mga around 3 weeks ago, I was in a event of it was sponsored by Unilab Foundation, helping naman the PWDs to become gainfully employed, and nakatabi ko yung isang representative ng Australian Embassy, and involved din sila doon sa food stamp programs ng DSWD. So nalaman niya, I'm representing Caritas, and naka-standby kasi kami ang Caritas Philippines din sa MAP kasi I think Caritas is one of the contributions of Caritas is on-ground activation, since it's present in all provinces, parang siya yung parallel ng DILG, di ba? So anyway, sabi ng Australian Embassy, gusto makipag-meeting kasi nga they're very concerned din about on-ground activation. Limbawa lang yung pagsuri ng mga pamilyang kasama sa program, just to vet the list, etc., etc. And they're willing to fund. And very interesting, ma'am, yung comment nung representative ng Australia. Sabi niya, ang laki kasi ng investment namin sa education dito sa Philippines, na kung hindi ma-address to, parang masasayang din yung investment namin sa basic education. So may mga ganun.
It's the same as yung sinasabi natin, di ba, Father? Magka-connecta na yan eh.
Yes. So that's why ang dami talagang ahensya na magkakaduktong dito, di ba? So Leloy, yun nga, parang I think that's one of the signs, because of yung pag-push din ng MAP. And if you meet the movers of MAP, you realize why they keep on pushing. Mga type A personalities, ang mga ka-team ni Attorney Dick, di ba? And that's what we need. That's what we need, people who will push. And ang kainaman, at least, attorney, yung mga na-attendan kong meeting, our MAP people push, the secretaries push back, MAP people will push back also, That's why I think nagkakaroon ng a healthier collaboration. Kasi meron ng kanya-kanya marami nang nagawa yung mga kausap eh. So now it's really coming together. And I'm very hopeful na yung sa activation ng key. For me, a key yung activation on ground. So
We now have the buy-in, I would suppose, of
yes.
the government, of the society. And
Yes.
once we have that buy-in, madali-dali na yung on ground.
Mm-mm.
Kaya lang, yun yung madugo.
Yes.
Madugo.
Ma'am, you want to do the closing and then I'll ask Manolo and Leloy and Carlo to do a quick rin.
Let me take this opportunity again, Father, to our listeners to help us. We are masyadong futuristic ang tinitingnan na natin. We are trying to help save a generation of Filipinos here. We really need to concentrate on solving this problem. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Manolo, Leloy, Carlo?
Sa akin po, yun po talaga yun. I love that line. We're trying to save a generation of Filipinos. Sana po balikan ng viewers natin yung episodes with Dr. Shel Habito para talaga maalala nila kung bakit talaga napaka-urgent itong issue na to, lalo na kung 1/3 ang mga kababayan natin ay stunted. Ang laki ng knockdown effects dito dahil pag na-stunt ka, bata ka, stunted ka na forever, and effectively we're creating two classes of Filipinos, yung hindi stunted at yung stunted, at kawawa talaga sila for their entire lives. So dapat talaga maagapan na to as soon as possible. This is for me possibly the most urgent issue right now, the most pressing issue.
Thank you. Yeah.
Pads,
Carlo, yes.
But for me, before we started, tinatanong ni Ma'am kung ano yung namin, yung audience natin, and we are explaining we're trying to target the youth, no? And immediately while we were discussing, one word came to my mind, and that word is disruptor. Kasi madalas gamitin yan sa business lingo ng mga bata. And that is exactly what we need right now. And I think people from MAP as well, they're disruptors, and they're disrupting it in a good way. Kasi yung quote ni Einstein about insanity, something about doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same result. So
different result.
So we can't have that. We have to break away from that mindset. If the process is not working, and if these processes were put in place and they're to curb corruption, to make the process better, and then now we see that it's doing the exact opposite, then maybe it's time to revisit and revise.
Thank you, Carlo. Manolo?
Palagi natin naririnig na ang isang problema sa pamahalaan, every 6 years, nagsisimula na naman ang buong proseso dahil may bagong namumuno. Ang kagandahan ng mga ugnayan sa panig ng pribadong sektor at ang pamahalaan ay magiging paraan ito upang malaman din ng pribadong sektor ang mga problema at sistema ng pamahalaan. Kasi madali para sa atin na mag-complain, hindi naman natin alam ano yung mga patakaran at bakit merong mga patakaran na katulad nun. Maganda rin ito dahil kung merong ugnayan at merong tulungan, kahit gusto ng isang bagong administrasyon o pinuno na ibahin lahat, kung meron ng malapit na ugnayan, mai-encourage sila na ituloy ang mga magagandang programa na nakikita naman natin na epektibo. So sana, imbes na tingnan natin yung napaka-uphill ng kailangan gawin. Because for example, tingnan mo sa talakayan natin today, we saw that only 20% of 30% ang matutulungan sa simula ng programang ito. But it's a big step forward, and kung in a sense mapatunayan na kayang gawin ito sa paggawa ng map na siya ang magkukumpas sa mga iba't ibang mga grupo, then pwede itong palakahin over time, over future administrations, at sa ganon, mawawasak yung dating sistema na repeat, recycle na dating dinadaanan natin.
Thank you, Manolo. Attorney Dick, marami pong salamat, and we hope to have you back pagka tumatakbo na, no? Maybe a few months after. So maraming salamat, Attorney Dick. Yes. Leloy and Carlo and Manolo, thank you very much. Mga kaproyekto, ito po ang Filipino. Maraming pong salamat, and hopefully mag-start kayo ng mga proyekto nyo. Tapos paalam nyo sa amin, i-connect namin kayo sa MAP so you become a member of their coalition. Maraming pong salamat. Ito po ang Proyekto Pilipino.